Housing one issue, of course, healthcare another that are on the top of mind for consumers. And they may be spending a whole lot more on their health and healthcare in the new year as major pharmaceutical companies plan to raise drug prices. We've heard this before, and it might be happening again. To Dr. Kevin Campbell on what we all can expect. Hi, doctor. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you. So we're just going to spend a whole lot more on drugs and healthcare in 2019, huh?
Sure sounds like it. It sounds like, once again, our pharmaceutical industry is going to be able to raise prices to whatever levels the market will support. And ultimately, all of us, all the patients, are going to suffer.
Reuters is reporting that 30 drug makers are expected to hike prices in 2019. If so, does that just about touch everyone?
I think it really does. If you look at simple drugs like insulin, which is not very expensive to make, yet we've seen the price of insulin quadruple just in the last year, which leaves many diabetics at risk for not getting the drugs they need to live. And we see this over and over again with diabetes drugs, with heart drugs, with drugs for blood pressure. I think that if we don't do something to stop this type of behavior by the pharmaceutical industry, we're going to see a lot of non-compliant patients who can't afford their medicines, and they're going to have a lot more complications from easily treatable diseases.
President Trump has been one who has tried to tackle this issue, and many of the pharmaceuticals said that they would stop price increases this year. And now it appears that they're going to be hiking it in 2019. But I want to play some sound for you of President Trump and his stance, and I'll get your reaction on the other side. Watch here.
We have to lower the drug prices. A competition, the key to lower drug prices. We have competition, but a lot of times the competition dissipates. I'll oppose anything that makes it harder for smaller, younger companies to take the risk of bringing a product to a vibrantly competitive market. That includes price fixing by the biggest dog in the market, Medicare, which is what's happening.
That was week 2 of the Trump administration. How's he fared?
You know, I think it was a lot of momentum going forward, but we really just haven't gotten anywhere with that. The issues at hand are the fact that you allow big pharma to kind of squeeze out generic competitors through manipulations of patent law and other things like that. In addition, you know, the FDA process is a very expensive process to get a new drug through. Thankfully, Scott Gottlieb, the commissioner of the FDA, is doing a lot of great things to kind of make this an easier process to get through. But we have to get away from 3 people making insulin and only 1 or 2 drug companies making another drug. These companies are suing one another to prevent them from making generics. Ultimately, their wallets get fat and our patients miss the drugs they need.
You know, it's not just the president talking about this. Democrats up on Capitol Hill are going to have half of control of Congress, have put out a host of ideas. Senators Harris, Merkley, and Klobuchar, for example, have said they want to allow DHS to review and reject drug prices that seem unreasonable. Elizabeth Warren says the government should manufacture and sell certain drugs and sell them at lower prices if there isn't enough competition. Do you think any of these ideas get through real quick?
You know, I really don't see anything getting through where the government is making drugs and government is distributing drugs. I think that would be an absolute failure. If you look at the VA system and the VA hospitals that are managed by the federal government, there's lots of problems. I do think we need drug transparency. I think we need to make sure that the U.S. isn't bearing the full burden of research and development costs for the world. We need to share that with other developed countries.
Dr. Kevin Campbell, have to leave it there, and we leave it as well as we come back.